Recovery is stupendous.
Achievable.
Hope.
Freedom.
Empowering.
It's unique to everyone.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Getting a new lease on life.
It's finding restoration after you fall down.
Recovery is having the freedom to enjoy life.
For me, it was finding a way to really love myself.
My recovery is possible in part because of my own sense of purpose.
Hello, welcome to Montana's Peer Network Recovery Talks podcast. I'm Jim Haney, Executive Director.
And I'm Lea Wetzel, Montana's Peer Network's recovery coach. And we are here today with some very amazing individuals from the Hardin Hope Center, Drop-In Center. And would you like to introduce yourselves?
Good morning. I'm Roanna Austin, 46-year-old Crow tribal member, permanent resident of Hardin, Montana, manager of the Hope Drop-In Center, and peer support specialist. And with me, my partner is...
Good morning. My name is Robert Hedazit, also known as Sargi. I grew up in Lodge Grass, moved to Hardin, where I work now as a peer support specialist. Been in recovery for 12 years, been drinking for 28, so have experience on both sides.
That's great.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. And thanks so much for taking the time today. We're excited to hear about your drop-in center.
And I just want to acknowledge that I'm very honored to have you folks on here, and I'm very honored to know you both personally now through my journey of working with Montana's Peer Network through our contract with the drop-in centers. And so I couldn't wait to get you guys on here. Me and Jim couldn't wait. And so let's get to it. First question is, I know through some of your trainings and through your own journey, you know the importance of individualizing and humanizing somebody. How is your approach to the individuals that come in your drop-in center?
Well, for me, I was a meth addict for 30 years. I was a meth dealer, and that goes along with, all the other bad stuff for 26 years in this community, Bighorn County, as well as surrounding areas. So 30 years is a long time. And by the end of the last probably 10 years of my addiction, I had completely given up, like most people that are in bondage today, probably, long-term use probably are. I gave up completely my kids. I had started over, I don't know how many times. And I had absolutely no worth or hope within myself, like many probably do. But there was one individual, my mother, or after long periods of time where she, condemned me, got after me, told me how much I was a disappointment, how much I had hurt her. But, after a while, she began to just love me for who I was, accepted me for who I was. And I don't know if somebody instructed her to try unconditional love or how she came about, using that approach on me. But instead of condemning me after a while, she would find me on the street and she would say, it's so good to see you. You don't belong here. You'll be done soon. You're very important. We need you. We miss you. Do you need anything? And she would leave. And the more she did that, the more, she planted that seed of worth and hope and just being needed. And so and for someone that completely gave up, like I believed with all my heart, my kids wouldn't have a chance in life with me in theirs. And I loved making money. I loved the being a shot caller and assigning seats and the whole thing. And I didn't want to recover, but it was that seed she planted, that acceptance and acknowledgement of just being, a person still, rather than this, person of bondage and leaving behind my kids and responsibilities. And that there was how I began to feel some want, like I said, some need. And it just grew. It grew bigger and bigger each time she came and saw me and loved me up and left. And till one day, I was just done. I was just so overwhelmed with lonesomeness, that feeling of being needed and still not being there. Like she said, it just grew until one day I was walking through the middle of town and I said, Lord, stop me. And that evening I went to jail with enough meth to send me away for 7 years. That they kept me there for over 6 months, trying to get somebody to get on the stand to testify against me so they could send me away, because they had so many people turning me in as their meth dealer, but it didn't happen. And then so that's the same approach I use on everybody I come across. I tell them they're needed, they're loved, they're important, they don't belong there, and they'll be done soon. You're allowed to slip, you'll come back. And so, and and it's gonna grow. That seed I plant in there, I planted it in somebody's child and somebody's mother or father or sister and brother, and so, and we all belong to Creator. There is a higher being that is in control and has power over, who created us. So he is going to continue to bring people in their surrounding that's going to water that seed. So that's how I approach them, as somebody's mother, somebody's child, somebody's that they're needed and they're important. And I approach them as I would try to look at them or I do look at them through as God would see them, as my mom would have saw me. So, yeah. And so I just love them back, because love and patience always wins. So, and I'm proof of it. So that's exactly how I approach everyone that comes through here. Like, they're needed, they belong here, and that they're equipped and capable of everything more than I've ever accomplished.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great approach, and that really, that is peer support. You're using the same thing that was used on you, with you, and that's really great. I'm curious, Robert, how about for you?
What I've been through, these guys that walk around in town, I walked the same streets before. We had an older group a few years ago that most of them passed on. There's only one left of that group, and my dad was in that group. So I had the chance of meeting them and hanging out with them, and also had a chance walking around with these younger guys that are out here today. At the time, I lost all hope in my higher power, or, I didn't, why is he doing this to me? Why am I going through this? What did I ever do? Those kind of thoughts were going through my head. Just like I believe that these guys are the higher powers that bottle. We all lose sight of our higher power, and that's the main thing that's going to get us back on track. So one day I was walking down Main Street over here in front of the movie house, and I was looking around and I seen some pickups drive by, nice looking pickups, that were, fancy. And I was thinking to myself, one day I'm going to have one of those. I'm going to have a family and I'm going to not drink. That was just a dream. And then I told myself, well, I'll never have that, and I forgot about it. And I just kept going throughout my day, throughout my career of drinking. So now when these guys come in I want them, to feel welcomed, no matter where they come from, who they are, which family they belong to, which church they go to, if they go to church, if they go to the sweat Sundance. Because in my life, I felt the Holy Spirit as I was praising God. And also when I was standing in those starting gates in the Sundance, I felt that same presence. And both times it made me cry. It had me, that pure joy within my heart of knowing that I'm alive and that my prayers are heard. I heard that on both sides. And growing up, when my mom was a Pentecostal, my dad was a Native American church, I heard it on both sides of who was good, who was bad, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that. And also in my life, I experienced it personally while going to church, they wanted me to cut my hair. And when I went to a Sundance, I had a Jesus shirt on and they said, you're in the wrong place, and it made me, it got me mad and it felt like I didn't belong, and I was in the wrong place. And then they were starting to get to my head where I decided not to, let them do that to me, let them get in my head. So that's why when they come in, I want them just to meet them where they're at in life. I ain't gonna judge nobody because I didn't like it. I ain't gonna say, no, you change your shoes, you do. No, they come right in. Just the other day, one came in the morning and he said, man, you know what? I come over here because you guys love. And that was so awesome, man. Just to hear him say it, he was having a hard time. And hear him coming in here saying that I come here to get the support. I know you guys love me and made him feel good. And he was smiling, he was crying on the way in and he smiled on the way out. And the other day, one guy said I was walking across the street and I saw this pickup. And one day I told myself, I'm gonna drive that pickup. He said, hey, I said, I had that before. Look at where I'm at today. I said, you can do it. So where we've been, we have those, those same feelings, those same hurts, those same loneliness. We need to find our God, and that's what we want to push. We have our good songs when they come in. We all, welcome them in. We give them coffee, and we use our own experiences to what we wanted to feel like at that time. So, yes,
That's great.
Yep.
That's great. That's great. So if I was, this program sounds good, and we're going to get into the specifics. Tell everybody where you're located at.
We are located in Bighorn County, southeast of Montana, near the Wyoming border. Hardin, Montana, right in the center of Hardin, right where they can find us. We're kind of in an alley, but it took a minute for them to find us, but they found us, and we're growing by the day. And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And it's free, right? People can just come in. The program is free.
Everything is free. Yep. Yes, from like Sarge said, the moment they walk in, we greet them with a smile, a hug. It doesn't matter how they, how they're, if they have poor hygiene, or if they just woke up from the alley or whatever, we give them that hug that they deserve, and followed by something warm and and something to eat, a prayer. Like he said, they literally come in tears and they leave with a smile. So
that's great. That's great. So tell us, share with us the kinds of things that, if we came there to the drop-in center, what kind of programs or groups, or, what might we find there in your program?
So we have a set schedule, although if somebody were to come in right now and, we'll just meet them where they're at, what they need at any time. But if we're not in the middle of already sitting in front of somebody, we'll jump right on to whatever they might need. And otherwise, every Monday from 12 to 1, we have an AA meeting, a talking circle. And then once a month, on say Monday from 1 to 2, we have the community advisory meeting, which that is consists of the members that come in. And then we'll ask them what they need, how we can improve, how they would want to see, what they want more out of the Hope Center, and the rules, how they would want a group run, how they would, and like they police each other, and they make the rules here. Holidays, they do the decorating here, and so they all contribute. They come in and say, what do you need done? I'll get all the trash, and I'll clean the bathroom before I leave, and they just, they belong here. So they take care of it. They take care of each other. There's a few that come in here kind of uncontrolled, they're unable to control themselves. So they watch out for each other, But on Tuesdays, we have, Tuesdays is kind of my day, the Women's Day. So every Tuesdays consists of parenting for women, women's support group, women's talking circle. We go for a walk and talk, women's recovery fitness in the evening. And then also the elderly members in the community, we have a sit and fit at their church. So the older ladies sit there on the chair. So, it's not too strenuous, so they really enjoy that, Christian music, Christian workout music. And, just it's really fun to watch them really get. And the one older lady, I was really being fragile and taking care of her, and she says, can we do some Zumba? And I'm like, whoa. that was awesome, but they are adorable. And so, we are every type of individual you can think of, we have, and it's pretty awesome. We provide anything from diapers to the elderly, so, and everything in between. So Mondays, we have the AA talking circle, community advisory meeting every Monday, 3 to 4. We have Narcan training. So other entities in the area, schools, other recovery centers, the jail. There's a youth board meeting. We want to Narcan train as many people as we can. Some of the people, our homies that are, on the street, we want to Narcan train all of them. We're working on a Narcan sticker that we can put in the windows, the cars or the house windows, or, just we want it to be, we want it to indicate, this is where Narcan's available. This person has Narcan in their car or whatever. So we're working on a universal sticker that we can pass around. Anybody that's got the Narcan training can carry it. And because right this minute and from years past, you ask anybody on the street, where can you get Narcan? Everybody's going to be clueless, hospital, So we're working on that.
Awesome.
And then 5 to 6 is the NA meetings, Narcan, and she is one of the one that runs that is we're yet to get started, and but that's on the schedule. And she is one of my favorite success stories. She was in bondage of meth for many years. She lost trust with her family, with the community, and once she got off to treatment, sober living, she's now going to return home this week. I just got off the phone with her, and so she's going to be running the Narcotics Anonymous meetings. So she is a success story in this community. She's proof that life is attainable. So she's going to be running that. Every Tuesdays is the Motherhood of Sacred Parenting. Like I said, Tuesdays is all women. I mean, of course, anybody that comes in, men, older folks, whatever, the men, Sargie and Wes are always here to grab them. Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, probation and parole no longer has a space in this county to meet their clients. So we offer them the conference room where they come and meet but that gives us a chance to offer them parenting, AA, talking circle. And so they come back. Now they know where to keep on that track, on that right road. So we grab all them and we welcome them in. And so, yeah. And
That's
then,
great.
and then after they come and go, or otherwise on Wednesdays, it's like the men's day, men's parenting, couples parenting. And then in the afternoon, we do a community walk. So the people in the community, we all meet up at a central station here in town. And then we just walk and talk throughout the community, and just, the people that wander around on the street like to join us, or, different, and when we hold it during lunch, so the different people in different departments or stores, during their lunch break, they'll jump on, and, we go for just a community walk throughout the town.
Nice.
And then Thursdays is wisdom of trauma and healing. So our topic on Wednesdays is trauma, and Sarge runs that, and yeah, it's really it's an emotional day. We get a lot of, but it's working, and you can see the progress. After tears are healing. So. Yeah. And then Fridays is the basic life skills youth board meeting that Wesley runs, and he's got a group of from adolescents to young adults that come over. They're building a skateboard park in the area, so they have a say in where it went, how it's going to be done, how they can peer support right there, like, support each other, be the best influence for one another for the younger generation in the area. There is a mechanic here in town that has a shop. He's faith-based. He runs a set-free men's Bible study and stuff. He's got a garage. We are working on getting a group of young boys, like he'll show them basic oil changes, just how to change brakes and stuff, And then I have a carpenter that runs his business that is away at a project right now, but in the spring, or when he comes back, he's willing to take one individual, through, he'd have to have them insured and stuff like that. But he wants to show him, carpentry. So he'll give carpentry skills to one young man,
Nice.
at a time, or however he does, whatever his project needs. So, there's that. And then again, every day, pretty much every day, we have, if somebody needs to a one-on-one, just, sometimes we get better results, or we're able to think better just walking, so somebody, we have a space open on Fridays from 2 to 3 for a fitness class, or else to walk, we'll take them for a walk depending on the weather, and they just, have that privacy, and, is able to be vulnerable, and just, we have that too. So. Yep. So whatever an individual needs, we're just ready to take on or help them, walk them through whatever they need at any time.
Great. That's great. And then you also have Goldstein doing the Phoenix.
Yeah, the Phoenix. Goldstein is doing the Phoenix Recovery Fitness. He has a boot camp every Monday as well. So it's pretty intense. He's got a pretty awesome group over there. A lot of it's amazing that. And then in the area he's got a 1 hour recovery walk and talk as well, I think every day. But he's just a testimony within himself, because he was no different than we were. He was in really deep bondage, and just, really significant member of, like, where you can, he was the party in his community too, So, yeah. So he's got the community's trust, and we don't have to, the best part about being
Right.
peer support and part of the Hope Center in our area is we don't have to explain where we came from or where
Yeah.
our story. Our reputation and where we come, we all know each other, you know? So like, we had
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like some men are, you know, if Sarge is not here, you know, I'll just come back later, you know, like that trust is there, you know, like because
Mm-hmm.
they know he knows, you know, and some, and I've heard and know, you know, I'll wait till Rowan's here, you know, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're just, they
Yeah.
know their specific needs and what they're going through, their struggles, you know, they know exactly, they know, we know, so.
Nice. Nice.
So also, one thing I wanted to add was during noon from 12 to 1, we have a lunch and learn during the groups, and we feed our the ones that come in, our wandering warriors, we call them. We don't call them street chiefs no more. We call them wandering warriors, our homies. Yeah. So what they come in and we have a menu for each day.
Mhm.
We have a snack tray. They come early. We take that snack tray outside. They grab something, then they'll go and come back after they just want to sit and
Mhm.
watch videos.
Mhm.
You know, we try to throw, because they say what you put into your body, that's what comes out, and we want to throw
Yeah.
everything we can that's going to help them in life into them. You know, so
Yeah.
that's what we have. I think the trauma is a big thing.
Yes.
So that's where we like to, you know, get to them. Like in the groups on Thursday, we talk about the inner child, you know, the irrational beliefs, rational beliefs, core beliefs, ABC process, and the 5 stages of grief.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the things that helped me when I was in pre-release, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that helped me work on the things that I've been through.
Yeah.
So that's when I like to focus on that group there.
That's great. That's great.
Definitely.
So yes. We also have these computers next door where they can come in and make a resume. They can apply online for jobs. They can look up information, you know, all kinds of stuff that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
We also have clothes that we can give away. Also, if they volunteer, we give them maybe a coupon or something where they can purchase new clothes here at our store.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives them, you know, makes them feel better.
Right.
So if they volunteer here, we can, you know, what would you call that? Doing recommendation for them if they're ever looking for a job.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's something they need because, you know, when we were out there, we never held on to a job, but we needed, you know,
Right.
someone to, you know, talk for us. So that's one thing that we really kind of push for them to do. And we have a couple that come all the time and they buy clothes here and they volunteer. We had a site visit one day and they came in and, oh gosh, those two did a great job. They stayed sober, they cooked, they cleaned, they ironed clothes, you know, and you can tell, you know, it's working.
That's great.
This drop-in center is working. Because I was working in Crow. In Crow, and I was able to talk to them, but most of my time was paperwork.
Oh.
But here, I mean, they have to do paperwork.
Yeah.
Here, I can sit with them and talk with them and bring them in, walk outside with them and
Right.
cry, you know, and all this stuff. So
right.
It's this drop-in center is awesome here. I'm glad they had it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think makes a drop-in center so special, is that it removes a lot of those barriers that sort of a traditional system puts up, which is you got to fill out all this paperwork and you got to get them in the system and we sort of forget it's a person in front of you sitting there that needs help. And we're so busy checking the boxes, right? That we're not actually taking the time to go for a walk or hear their story or cry with them, or right. And we sort of miss that. And so that's what I love about drop-in centers, because you get to do those things.
Yep. Along with the community walks, you know, like I said, the peoples in the department that's on their lunch break or whatever walk with us. And then there's the homies or the wandering warriors that walk with us, that helps them see them as an individual. They start that relationship that, they can just walk beside them, and now they get a different view, a different sense of, like that stigma and those things those walls are kind of broken down with each one, and then they greet each other now on the street, like these people, these working class people, there's a few now that they'll acknowledge each other on the street, and they'll come in and tell us, hey, they waved at me, and then when they slip or they fall, they come in here and they just feel really bad, like, man, I slipped, I'm so sorry, like they're important, and they know it, and they just feel they just have to come in, and they feel like they have to come and explain themselves to us, which they don't have to, but we walk them through it. We'll pray, just help them get back up.
That's great. And just when you were explaining how the community, business owners and the wandering warriors, them being able to look at them as human beings is so important for their own journey too. You guys are giving these folks purpose. You're doing trauma-informed care, suicide prevention, and cultural humility all in one. And I just really think that's a beautiful thing. And you're helping them stay sustainably in their recovery if they choose to do so. I know last time I was there, your number of sending folks out to treatment was getting up there as well.
Yeah, our favorite ones, my favorite ones, is this couple. They had absolutely nothing. We helped them from getting, and they were displaced because of the trust. They had no trust with their families, but they had a newborn. So they had every reason to work on their recovery. He was staying in Lame Deer. She was staying here with family, and neither each side, didn't want them to be together, and they didn't trust them. But so we started them with absolutely nothing. We helped them from diapers. It was really cold. A church helped them with a room for a few nights while we worked on the paperwork. They went to church with us. Well, they met us there. The baby clothes, their clothes. They came to the lunch and learns. They had their daily meals here. And then we got them off to a 1-year family treatment where they are now. And I'm just, oh my gosh, it's just amazing to see, before they left there, they were finally allowed to stay together because of the efforts and the hard work that they put into themselves, just staying connected with the Hope Center and going to church and the steps they took, they gained back some of the trust they had lost. They were allowed to stay together, and we picked them up at the same residence they were at when, it was off the clock. We did it out of, because they had nobody. We took them to the bus and got them off to the 1-year treatment, and there they are today, and they were so grateful. And, oh my gosh, there's at least 5 individuals out there in treatment right now. We have so many applications filled out. They're ready to go whenever they're ready. There's little things. There's one individual who stayed on the street because he didn't want to miss his eval and physical at the clinic here that we helped him set up. He had to get his Medicaid going, and he lived all the way in Lodge Grass. And so, those efforts that they invest in themselves, and they don't go unnoticed. He's away at 1-year treatment, and he's been on the street for years, and he came here one day he was hungry. Another wandering warrior brought him here, and the love and acceptance he found here kept him. He came back every day, and then before he knew it, he's off at a 1-year treatment, So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
He
You
was
guys
one
are
of the
doing
most, people didn't believe him. They didn't believe him. His family didn't believe him. Like nobody even gave him a second chance or, yeah, but we did. We believed in him. And we just stood beside him. And he did all the work himself and off he went. All we had to do was believe in him and tell him so. And yeah.
And there's magic in that. There's magic in us because in us believing in them because we know how that is. We've been that person that everybody gave up on. Okay, so within any organization to stay sustainable, there's purpose within needing, funding avenues. For you individually, your drop-in center, how do you guys collect your data?
Well, I have this this Excel sheet that has spaces for clients and then a box for every day of the month. And so we have a table of the initials. TR is trauma, V is for verbal support, E is for education when they come to class, S is for SOAR, C is for community collaboration, where if we do referrals or somebody referred them here. So, let me just show you. I'll send one to you too. I meant to send, this is how I collect my everyday data. And then, and then how many times they came throughout the month, And so, yeah, that's how I collect my data. And then at the end of the month, I'll gather it together in a different spreadsheet to put all the numbers together of how many traumas in that month and how many individuals got referred and how many trauma and healings and how many treatments. So yeah, that's how I'm doing my quarterly report. So
If somebody or an organization or whoever would like to donate to your drop-in center, how would they do so?
they would just we don't have our own like bank set up or anything like that. So we've had a few donations where they just send it to the Hope Drop-in Center, One Health Hope Drop-in Center, and then the administrative assistant Nola, she's really awesome. She takes care of all that stuff. So she handles that.
Okay, great. And so you also have a very unique way for folks to see your story. Each of you have a YouTube video.
We do. It's on a video platform where they taught us in training how to put together the videos. We tell our story and then we can add pictures and anything you want to put in their music. It's pretty awesome. So with that, we're helping other success stories throughout our community. And then they put it on a scan, a barcode, and we have a digital recovery library where they're all on the wall. And all you do is take a picture of this barcode and you can hear everybody's story. So there's lots of other individuals in the community that were ready to help make their story so that, anybody coming in can see that they're not alone.
That's great. So they just take their phone and do the QR code. So I just want to thank you both again so much for being here and making time for us and for doing what you're doing. Yeah, because of seeing what you're doing, it gave me hope that, maybe we can get the word out to other reservations, that this is a very good idea. The model of what you guys are doing is a very good idea. You guys are healing, not only continuously healing yourselves, but your community as a whole. And so I just want to, commend you guys for doing that. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much for having us. We are proof, and everybody's got that proof, one individual or many individuals, that life is attainable, and by including us in this awesome journey that, gosh, it's healing for ourselves, for our families, yes, for this community. So, thank you.
It's great work. Keep it up, both of you. And and again, thank you for taking the time for the podcast. So, and we'll definitely have to do one again down the road.
Awesome.
Like an update one.
Yes, looking forward to it.
All right, and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another Recovery Talks podcast. Each week we release another podcast, different topics that Leah and I are working on or we find interesting. And this one is obviously on drop-in centers, and we're going to slowly work our way through all the drop-in centers across Montana. So
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. God bless you.
Thank you.
Recovery works and recovery is possible.
Recovery works and recovery is possible.
Recovery works. Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery works and recovery is possible.
Recovery works.
And recovery is possible.
Recovery works and recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.